Amy Lacey and I were sworn enemies, stuck in a marriage neither of us wanted. She blamed me for ruining her last chance with her childhood sweetheart, Brian Gurley. I hated her for sliding a separation agreement across the table on our wedding night. 7 years together, we both wished the other dead. The day I finally decided to divorce her, our private plane started going down. She grabbed the only parachute and strapped it around my waist. Isaac Irving, if you die, how are you supposed to pay me back for the years I wasted on you? The parachute snapped open, then the explosion hit, and her last words cut through it. Next life, don't come bother me again. Later, the rescue team pulled her burned body from the wreckage. In her arms was the love token Brian had given her that night, divorce papers in hand. I stepped off a rooftop. When I opened my eyes again, I was back to the day Amy ran to the airport to win Brian back. This time, I let her go without a second thought in this life. I set her free. From here on out, we'd walk our own roads, owing each other nothing. Chapter I won't stop you. Go. Amy's head jerked up, surprise flashing in her eyes narrowed. Isaac, what are you plotting now? Don't tell me you're playing hard to get. You think I'd care? I held her gaze. Your choice, leave or stay. A mocking smile curled on her lips. If you'd been this reasonable earlier, we could have skipped all this. The more you cling to me, the more I hate you. She paused, voice turning cold. Go explain it to your family. I'm never agreeing to some marriage deal. Don't think you can use it to threaten me later. At the words marriage deal, I let out a quiet laugh. In my last life, our families shoved two strangers together for profit. That's how we got stuck in 7 miserable years. I'll handle it. Don't worry about it. I pulled the pocket watch off my chest and slammed it on the floor. The crystal face shattered with a sharp crack. This was the engagement token our families agreed on. Now it's broken. You're free. In my last life, I dropped to my knees at the airport, begging her to stay. I even pulled out that pocket watch to threaten her. If the Lacey family broke the engagement, they'd be the joke of the business world. So Amy caved for her family's reputation and left the airport with me. A few days later, the news said Brian had died in a riot overseas. She hated me for 7 years because of it. If I hadn't stopped her that day, maybe she could have convinced Brian to stay. Isaac Irving, you're a murderer. Every time I see your face, I feel sick. Even if I die, I could never love someone as disgusting as you. I'd heard those words more times than I could count. I knew she married me just to get back at me and make one thing clear. Her heart would never be mine. Years of cold cruelty wore me down. So I promised her one last trip before filing for divorce. And yet, the woman who hated me to the bone. When the plane started going down, she shoved away the parachute I gave her without a second thought. She'd rather die than owe me anything. Asterisk. Isaac, have you really thought this through? You're not gonna cling to me again. For once, Amy's voice carried a hint of hesitation. Chapter yeah. I stayed indifferent, glancing at the departure board. Go, keep stalling and Brian's flight takes off. I waved a hand before turning away. Hope you two are happy. Asterisk. When I got home, my dad was pacing the living room. He saw me come in alone and his face changed. Where's Amy? Why didn't she come back with you? We're done. I tossed it out and headed upstairs. He froze for a few seconds, then his face turned red. Done? What nonsense is that? How is it just over? I stopped and looked at him. Cold. She doesn't like me. I'm not wasting my time. That's it. The second I finished, he grabbed the ashtray off the coffee table and hurled it at me. I stepped aside and dodged it. He rushed over and grabbed my collar. Our families set this engagement 20 years ago. You think a business marriage is a joke. You don't get to call it off whenever you want. Trying to make this family the laughingstock of the city. I let out a cold laugh and shoved his hand away. You're so desperate because the company's 30 million in the red. You're counting on Amy's dad to bail you out. I'm not your bargaining chip. Let it go. First time in years I'd ever talked back, he snapped. And kicked me hard in the chest. How did I end up with a